I guess I would like to maybe return to the very beginning when you'd signed on as a co-sponsor of the original legislation, and I'm not purporting to be able to change it because I think we've improved the bill. Manager's amendment will actually strengthen it even anymore. Were you supportive of the original piece of legislation that you and I co-introduced?
We were absolutely willing to work to make it better in committee.
No, that's not the point, though. Were you supportive of the original legislation that we introduced?
Absent the language that was added in committee
It never spoke specifically to ski areas in the original incorporating legislation. It always spoke to private property rights when it comes to being able to protect water in the West. And we should not be, in my estimation, and certainly free, I understand we've all got to be able to represent our districts, our specific interests, but I am not willing to sacrifice the private property rights of farmers and ranchers to the exclusion or for the benefit of any other one specific entity. Where I read those letters coming out of the ski areas is they'd love to be able to have this tailored specifically. The bill does that. We are protecting that water for the ski areas. Let's also protect the farmers, ranchers, and our communities.
Do a quick pointed question on this, Mr. Tipton. So, again, do you agree that the genesis of this particular legislative effort arose from the 2011 Ski Areas Water Directive?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
okay.
that was one of the beginning
So
points.
isn't there a risk that we are, in fact, watering down, pardon the pun, Mr. Chairman, our legislative outrage over that particular directive by including everything in the sun under here so that message is actually lost in this bill? I'll be happy to go to you.
If you could narrow it and close the door, you may have a point. But we can't and we won't. Simply because going through my district, sitting down, visiting with cattlemen and ranchers, talking to communities, this has been an issue that has been raised. We now have testimony that came through those committee hearings that we're talking about something that I think as Americans we all ought to certainly share. Do we want to stand up for that agricultural community that feeds us? We got testimony that the federal government coming through the BLM, through the Forest Service, through the Department of Ag, the Department of Interior, were going to coerce water rights away if we wanted to be able to see permits renewed. So I think part of our job is not just to look out the rearview mirror, but to look out the windshield of impacts. We're seeing the tentacles of government starting to expand to reach into these other areas. And I hope you'll join me. Glad to be able to work with you. If you'll stand with me with the farm and ranch community and the other communities in Colorado as well.